All right, let's dive right into this. Today, we're looking at Austin Kleon's quiet, but honestly, absolutely devastating attack on the idea of clean creation in his book, Steal Like an Artist. And look, this book isn't just a catchy title or some permission slip to be lazy. It's a mirror. Kleon doesn't hand you a shortcut. He hands you a receipt for all the energy you've wasted trying to be perfectly, uniquely original. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how smart, talented creators just exhaust themselves trying to produce ideas with absolutely zero lineage, and more importantly, how to actually fix it.
Because here's the reality. The blank page, it's not empty. It leans over you like a foreman. It asks for proof. Not work, mind you, but proof. Proof that your mind arrived totally untouched by the outside world. And this habit of waiting for a pure, unblemished idea, it's turned the totally natural act of being influenced into a deep, deep sense of shame. You sit down, surrounded by inspiration, but your jaw tightens up because you feel like every draft is secretly just a disguised copy.
Nothing is original. Austin Kleon drops this, not to discourage you, but to wake you up. Picture the exhausted maker. You have good taste. You've got a massive input stack. Books, songs, screenshots, notes. You literally have enough material to work for years. Yet, your hand just hovers there, completely paralyzed above the page. Why? Because the fear isn't that you'll fail. The fear is that you'll be found out. Section 1. The Trap of Purity. Exhaustion and the False Standard of Clean Creation.
This book exposes a massive mistake we make. Smart creators constantly over-police the border between influence and fraud. We've somehow mistaken our creative studios for courtrooms. Purity turns influence into shame, and then shame turns your practice into self-surveillance. You desire originality so badly that it drains the work before it even begins. You stop feeding your mind because you treat influence like a contaminant. You literally starve your brain, and then you sit there punishing it for being hungry.
Section 2. The Architecture of Theft. Moving from a courtroom back to a studio.
Let's look at this analytically for a second. It is an absolute fact that every single maker has sources. But we get completely caught up on this idea I cannot make anything honest until it arrives untouched by influence. And hey, I know how intimately true this feels to a lot of us. It sounds so noble, doesn't it? But it's a false belief. It's a machine designed solely for your exhaustion. It makes reading dangerous. It makes admiration highly suspicious.
Let's use some cold logic to completely collapse that false belief. If untouched is the actual standard, well then no honest work can exist. Think about it. A cathedral isn't less real because it uses stone from a quarry, right? A paragraph isn't less yours because it learned its rhythm somewhere else. When you try to starve your mind of its influences, you're really just punishing the work. So this false standard traps you between two terrible doors. On the left, you copy and you feel fake. On the right, you wait around for a pure idea and you feel empty. Both of these are traps. They possess the exact same gravity and neither one wins. Why? Because they both lead you right back into that exact same paralyzing room of purity.
So let me ask you a direct question. What would your work look like if every influence had a job? I'm not sure where the old model leaves us, but I definitely know where this takes us. It's time to stop hiding your sources like they're dirty secrets and start giving them specific structural functions. One source gives you pacing. Another gives you restraint. Another gives you nerve. They aren't secrets, they're employees.
Section 3. The Transformation Test. The Anchor of the Half-Built House. I really want you to hold on to a specific visual metaphor here. Think of a scaffold built around a half-finished house. The scaffold isn't the house, but the house cannot rise without it. And here is the quiet certainty of this entire method. The house is yours when the scaffold comes down. You use the source material to reach a new height, but then you change enough of it so that the house can stand entirely on its own. Let's completely redefine the goal entirely. Honesty is not untouched origin. Honesty is visible transformation. This shift, it's incredible. It moves originality away from being this mystical, impossible identity trait and turns it into a simple behavioral test. Originality stops being a halo you have to earn and becomes a mechanical test you apply to your work. Here is that exact test in 3 rapid steps. 1. Name what you took. 2. Name what you changed. 3. Name what new use it serves. It's clinical, it's direct. If you cannot name the change, you only have decoration. You're just wearing someone else's clothes. But if you can name the change, well, now you have a practice. Now you're actually building. Let's look at this theft ledger in action.
Say your source is a fast-paced paragraph you absolutely love. Your mutation isn't copying the words. It's stealing that sentence acceleration for your own script. Or maybe your source is a calm, beautiful building. You don't steal the facade, you steal the expanded negative space for your graphic design. A stolen feature teaches muscle and proportion, not just a copied costume.
Section 4. The practice of choice, turning anxiety into sequence. The amateur looks at their work and anxiously asks, "Is this mine?" The professional looks at the exact same work and simply asks, "What did I change?" We always hit a dilemma here right before we publish. Left side, ship borrowed work and risk exposure. Right side, bury unfinished work and stay perfectly innocent. Think about how heavy that feels. But guess what? Both of these choices still worship that same false god of innocence.
So how do we break out? Well, this book lays out a practical, mechanical sequence. Don't ask the fog for permission. Do this instead. Pick a source, pick a feature, pick a mutation, and then make the smallest object that proves the mutation. A 30-second demo, one paragraph, a quick sketch. The point isn't the scale. The point is proving that the stolen feature can survive your unique change.
Section 5. The honest maker. Source-aware, not source-free.
If you've been that exhausted creator with a locked jaw we talked about at the very beginning, you can finally take a breath. Those influencers you were so terrified of, they were never your judges. They were just unpaid workers waiting for a job. An honest maker is not source-free. An honest maker is source-aware. That old suffocating panic of "I have nothing" totally evaporates into "I have material." And material isn't identity. Material is just clay. But practice starts with action. So here is your challenge. I want you to build this exact 2-column theft ledger before tomorrow. Left column, your chosen influence. Right column, your structural change. This is a mechanical exercise in finally facing your lineage. Don't hide the things you love, metabolize them. Here is your highly specific 300-second homework task. Physically break your paralysis right now. Collect 3 influences. Strip one surface feature from each of them so you aren't just copying their skin, then make one rough remix. Without doing this, your unique signature simply fades. Force yourself to engage in clean theft today. Which leaves us with the core truth of this entire explainer. Let this sink in for a second. Steal clean. Transform hard. Take the pressure off your soul, put the pressure onto your process, and actually get to work. You have the ledger. You have the scaffolding. This is the decision. Make it now. If not now, not ever. Continue the internal transformation.